So Australian citizen and atheist activist Zara K has suffered unlawful and arbitrary detention in Tanzania, where she remains stranded and subjected to intimidation, harassments, and serious threats to her safety. Zara is an activist and human rights defender who founded the organization Faithless Hijabi, which supports women ostracized or abused after leaving Islam. In December 2020, Zara was called into the police station, arbitrarily detained for 32 hours, and interrogated regarding her social media posts criticizing the Tanzanian president. She has had her personal belongings confiscated, including her Australian passport. Zara was forced to remain in the country pending the outcome of the police investigation. It was only on February 3rd of 2021, more than a month later, that she was informed that no charges would be brought. However, the police informed her that they lost her passport, and so she has been unable to leave the country. Finally, Atheist Republic calls upon the Australian government to intervene and ensure Zara's safety and exit from Tanzania.
So this seems absolutely crazy, because when you lose your passport, you should be able to go to the consulate in that country or call a consular authority so they can issue you exit documents. I mean, that's how that stuff works. People lose passports all the time. So yeah, the Australian government, I don't know what's going on, but
can she sue for damages, costs, and undue stress? Like, can she legally, like, I mean, they're admitting, I mean, I agree with Goddess Katie, she's not free. Like, just because she's not in jail, that doesn't mean she's free. Like, she's like been taken hostage still. Oh, sorry, you highlighted something.
Kay is saying this is thuggery by the Tanzanian authorities.
Okay, allegedly, let's be clear, we don't know, right? But it seems like, it just, it's either, if it's on purpose, then what the F? If it's also not on purpose, also what the F? Like, I don't know which one is worse, okay? But given that they openly are admitting this, I mean, even let's say like the oopsie, sorry, we lost your passport. Let's say that happened. Okay, let's say none of this was on purpose. Isn't that legally like? Can she go and they're like, well, you screwed up, I can sue you now? No, is that a possibility? Is this a country that has any? Like, can people be held responsible? Can the government be held responsible for like?
I don't know what Tanzanian law is if you have the right to redress grievances.
So the good news is, because let me stress, in my opinion, okay, let me stress one more time. In my opinion, the actions or the complete, or maybe not complete, but the inadequate actions or lack of actions by the Australian government is shameful.
Right.
Luckily for her, she now has a pro bono team of Australian and I believe English lawyers who have come to her defense because her own government is failing to do so as strongly as strictly necessary. Okay? So, if in the so I was reading a press release by her legal team, and basically, let me find it. They're taking this to the UN. Here we go. Barristers, a Gaelic name, barristers Gallagher, Lewis, and Robinson have been instructed to act as international counsel for Zara. An urgent complaint against Tanzania has been filed with the UN on behalf of her in relation to the unlawful arrest and detention she faced, as well as the ongoing harassment, intimidation, and death threats. The council are also liaising with the Australian government to ensure her safe return home. In addition, and then they're just adding that another barrister is assisting on her team.
So you're saying that we have individual private lawyers stepping in, working pro bono for Zara K, instead of doing something that the entire government of Australia failed to step in and do on behalf of their own citizen that was in trouble in another country?
It certainly appears that way.
Yeah,
And
guys.
also to force probably the Australians force their hand, I would think too.
I mean, what is it like? What's the point of having an Australian citizenship if your government is not going to step up to defend you when you need? Like, look at the value of an Australian citizenship. Like, guys, every time something like this happens and your country doesn't step out, do everything and get out of there, try to do everything they possibly can to bring safety and security to their own citizen. That's one. If you're an Australian, you should be like really offended because you're the prestige and the value of your citizenship just by this news was brought down significantly, right? Like, you have to understand that you are signaling to the world how little it means for you to be an Australian citizen, how little value and protection you get because of having it. Like, this is such a embarrassing. This is so pathetic. Your government is pathetic. I mean, if you're an Australian, I would be embarrassed if I were you right now. But go on, Susanna.
This is like when the UK Foreign Office told the family of Iranian hostage, dual national, Nazanin Zaghari Ratcliffe, that they can't ensure help for her. And that they don't know if her treatment meets the standard of hostage taking and torture. And then after her family exposed this written, which there were more details to it, but they basically said UK citizens cannot expect protection from the government under these circumstances while traveling with a UK passport, which is insane. What's the point of it then? And then in retaliation, the Foreign Office then told her husband to keep quiet after he exposed this letter on their behalf. Right? It's absolutely shameful. Katie is saying the Australian government has apparently lost all confidence about going against foreign governments after losing to effing emus.
I don't know. I don't know if people know what she's talking about, but that's pretty gold. Yeah.
It's so frustrating. It makes me so upset, but I will celebrate the fact that there are amazing attorneys who have stepped up in her defense. And if you're watching this, thank you.
Yes, and I just want to, as I always do, say attorneys don't get the amount of love and respect that they really do deserve. So yes, thank you, counselors.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, this is this whole the fact that now we have a legal team that is working pro bono for Zara and all these other reports being brought about her case and all the crap that she has to deal with is really embarrassing to the Muslim Dawa community that tried to make it seem like her case was not a big deal. Like, they were trying to make it seem like it's embarrassing to the ex-Muslim community to highlight this case, but every single person out there that went out and said oh, this is they're making a big deal out of this, they're not talking about this anymore because this is not looking really good for them. They,
and
given that
the diminishing and belittling of her situation.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that you have now so many, human rights groups and organizations and lawyers trying to bring attention to this. Now, all of a sudden, these Dawa people that were like, "Oh my God, this was such a nothing burger," or free cheese. Every single person.
I think we have one of these people in here right now saying she's claiming she is Australian. She should have given up her Tanzanian passport, as you can't be a dual national in Tanzania. Don't be a hypocrite. Hypocritical approach is costing her now. I can't get into the details of why this. You're an idiot. I can't get into the details of why this is bullshit and why this is. The government themselves has announced that they're dropping charges against her. Obviously, they don't have a case on this.
Yes,
she's not. I need to yell for a second. I need to yell. The Tanzanian government has themselves demonstrated that they do not have a case on this charge, this trumped up fucking charge. Okay, this is not a matter of hypocriticalness. It literally was, they were trying to get her on a technicality that didn't even apply anymore because the passport that she once had from Tanzania was no longer even applicable. They wouldn't have even let her in the country if she did use that passport.
Yeah, yes, you're
she never entered the country pretending to be a Tanzanian citizen. She doesn't even have that passport anymore. She only entered as an Australian. She was never like falsifying her citizenship.
So, yes, you're dumber than the Tanzanian government, and it shows. Like, if your standards are lower than them, then you know you're on the wrong side. So congratulations, you're the second major idiot of today, and now you're going to be highlighted here for the idiot that you are for eternity. But also, yeah, a lot of other people who were saying, well, Zara was, she did something illegal and she's paying the consequences. All those other, like Ali Daba and all the other idiots that were saying that, and even some people from the ex-Muslim community were saying that, like, look how embarrassing it is. Even the government was saying that they didn't have a case against her. Even the government is saying they don't have a case against her, and you were just trying to be a contrarian. You thought you had this wasn't the got you that you think it was, and you jumped on the bandwagon of being anti-Zara K just because it seemed cool at the time, and now you should feel embarrassed. I'm sorry, but now every single person that give any try to exercise the idea of like, oh, people are like, this is fake news, this is fraud, like every single one of you should be embarrassed. But go on, Susanna.
Okay, one more thing. Even if this was true, they should have charged her according to the processes of due process under Tanzanian law and in their constitution, okay? They violated that from the get-go. They violated due process from the get-go, okay? And I mean, we could get into how they figured out that they could possibly put these charges against her, but they since have dropped them.
So the charges have been dropped, but they are essentially holding her hostage because they took her passport, which is preventing her from leaving the country that has no charges against her anymore.
And according to them, they lost her passport.
Yeah, she should.
Where there were people like Faye the Most Gracious on Twitter saying against her original Tanzanian passport, how do you lose your passport? Apparently, the Tanzanian government does it too. And they're an authoritative body, and this is their key piece of evidence, right?
And so they're paying someone to supposedly keep track of the passport and or lose it. Somebody's job.
What?
It's not just...
All right.
Where's my fan?
Okay, let's go to the... Hold on. Oh, yeah. Faye should seem like an idiot right now. I mean, she was always an idiot.
Okay, one more thing. One more thing. Okay. Moral of the story is, free Zara K. We demand that she is released. Her safe exit from that country must be ensured. That's a mandate. Okay? I'm staying on their ass. Okay? And finally, sorry, I need to calm down. I use the hashtag free Zara K, hashtag justice for Zara K, hashtag release Zara K are all good hashtags to use on social media. And once again, thank you to these amazing attorneys who have stepped up where the Australian government has failed. So yes, on that note.
All right, so just one last thing. The ex-Muslims, by the way, who were saying that this is fake news, they were saying hashtag cheesecake or whatever that. Congratulations for being on the side of the Dawa community and Ali Dawa. Like, seriously, like, I hope you're proud and how gullible you are and how easy it is for you to believe things that you don't have an evidence for. Like, really, like, maybe you have some other good takes on other things, but you should... on this one, you should feel really embarrassed, very embarrassed.
Yeah,
like this is going to be on your record. This is going to be on your record forever, and it's embarrassing. We will always remember what side you were on this very important, easy take. This was an easy side to pick, and you pick the wrong side. And yeah, by the way, we should also remember this when it comes to like how big of a deal the Dawa community tried to make this as a fraud, and this was like, they ended up being on the wrong side. We should always
Highlight
now
that. Let's highlight
yeah,
that.
they thought that we were being embarrassed for this, but now look who looks like an idiot. Anyways,
Wait, Dorna thought is saying, how does Susanna really feel though?
and also subscribe to our newsletter, because if we get removed from all these platforms, at least we could reach out to you. And guys, by the way, if you subscribe to our newsletter, you get a free copy. Where's your copy, Susanna? Get it. We're doing promotion. You get a free. It's not even promotion. It's free. Okay, so if you subscribe to our newsletter, link in the description, you get a free copy of Why There's No God. Come on, like, I'm handing it out for free. Okay, it's a bestseller on Amazon, and you get it for free. So subscribe to our newsletter, and you get a free copy of Why There's No God sent to you. Link in the description.